Welcome, football fanatics, to a spine-chilling episode. If you dare to stay with us until the witching hour, we'll uncover the shadows cast by the 10 scariest players in football. From spine-tingling strikers to spine-crushing defenders, these players will send shivers down your spines and those of the opponents, making the beautiful game a nightmare for those who dare to cross their path. I'm Redbeard. This is Targo.
What's up,
or
guys?
Or should I say Ted Lasso?
Believe. I believe and believe.
This is a special Halloween episode of Brews and Banter FC, and it starts right now.
Right now. Welcome all to a special Halloween episode. I would ask you what you're drinking, bud, but it looks like you just drank it.
It's squirrel peanut butter whiskey. I had no idea. It was in a ghost.
It was in a ghost.
It was scary. Oh, how are you, my friend? Or Ted? How are you, Ted?
Doing good. Ready to kick off this episode of Brews and Banter FC. How are you feeling there, Mr. Oscar the Grouch?
I'm a little grumpy. Nah, how can you be grumpy, man? This was a wonderful week of football. We had everything from derbies in Italy, England, Spain. We had El Clasico, the Manchester derby. Blowouts left and right. Man, it was a good week of football.
I'm going to put it out there. I think this might have been my favorite weekend so far of the season.
Of this season, yeah. I tend to agree with you. Yeah. Not to mention, I mean, did you see these get-ups?
Yeah. It's Halloween as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it, man. You had the Manchester derby. You had El Clasico. You had PSV and Ajax. You had Napoli and Milan. I mean, our beloved Arsenal spanked Sheffield 5-0. Gotta love that. Bayern Munich put 8 past Darmstadt.
And 3 red cards in that game.
And 3 red cards.
Whew.
I think it was Frankfurt and Dortmund had a 6-goal thriller.
And Leipzig put up 6 themselves. So, with that, Targo.
What a weekend.
Yeah.
Roma and Inter.
What are you washing it down with?
I am washing it down with some Pin Crusher Pineapple Lime Golden Ale.
Ooh.
Sitting at a tasty 8%.
That sounds tasty.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I don't get it on my mustache here.
Welcome to the club, my friend.
That's easy drinking, man.
Yeah, that sounds like easy drinking.
It tastes like pineapple juice, but just a hint of spice. A little spicy pineapple juice.
Just a little spice.
Just a little spice.
It's nice. Well, I'm going to go the other direction, my friend. I got Humble Abode Brewing out of Spokane, Washington's Double Mosaic Smash Double IPA.
Double IPA.
Double IPA.
I'm going to guess a good 10%er, 12%er.
12.5.
Ooh.
Very excited.
Have you had this before?
Well, saying how I was tasting it during that question, how do I answer? No, before that sip, no.
Okay, how is it?
This might be the smoothest drinking double IPA I've ever tried in my entire life. Ever. Like, it does not taste like a double IPA. Heck, it barely tastes like an IPA. More like...
Out of 10, what are you giving it?
Oh, 8.5, easy. Maybe even a 9.
8.5. Ooh, I'm giving this a solid...
This is going to be a scary good episode.
I'm giving this a solid 8. Maybe, like you said, 8. I'll give it an 8.2.
8.2. Okay, I'll go 8.7.
Because this is good. It is fruity.
Yeah.
It says tropical fruit flavors explode from this potent but crushable golden ale brewed with more than a ton of pineapples. This crisp, refreshing beer finishes with a bright burst of key lime, making it the perfect brew for any occasion.
Again, sounds scary good.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
All right, Targo.
But enough with the brews, man. Let's get to some banter.
This is a Halloween special. So, the top 10 scariest players in football. Beware, for these footballing phantoms are ready to unleash their supernatural talents on the pitch, leaving a trail of fear in their wake. Targo, you want to just go with top 5?
I'm going to go my top 10, and then I'll let you do your top 10, okay?
Okay.
Let's just do that. Let me give you mine real quick. And no, Roy Kent is not on it.
Should be.
Should be. So
Whistle.
my number 10. Whistle. He's here. He's there. He's every fucking where. Where Kent? Roy Kent. So my number 10 is Jaap Stam. You might remember this defender, and so I'm going to be honest. I don't really remember watching him play very much. I just remember this motherfucker was scary looking.
Yeah.
Scary Dutch defender, big, the bald head. I'm pretty sure he had the goatee.
Pale. Yep.
Just
Very
gnarly
pale.
looking, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Mean.
kind of what makes him bad. He had a 5-month ban due to... He got a 5-month ban due to a substance in his system, and he was just...
Performance
big,
enhancing
tough defender.
drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 9 is Thomas Gravesen. Might remember him from his Everton days in the Premier League. Or maybe when he went to Real Madrid. He was famously known for taking out his own players in training, looking at you, Robinho. And just also kind of looked like a tough guy, man. I think he was Danish, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so.
Some Scandinavian country. Number 8, I got Diego Simeone. He was a very tenacious midfielder back in the day, and not much has changed from becoming a manager.
Not at all.
Very eccentric.
I mean, he
You
wears
see his
all
teams.
black every match. All
He's
black.
scary looking,
every
man.
match.
He's intimidating, I will say.
Have you seen his hair lately? It looks like he just got out of bed. He's like, I don't even care. I'm still gonna
And his
fuck you
all
guys
black
up.
suits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do
Or
love
like
those
he stuck
suits,
his
man.
finger in an electrical outlet.
My number 7 is a big striker, Duncan Ferguson, Everton man. He was a big man for Everton there, man, up front. Tough as nails. The only reason he's on my list is because of this story right here, where 2 burglars broke into his home. One escaped. The other was hospitalized for 3 days.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a scary guy.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't do the research on this, but is he the father of one Ferguson that plays for Brighton right now?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I do not know that.
Okay, you keep going. I'll look it up.
Okay, I'll move to my number 6, who is a fucking karate master, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Not only is he one of the most gifted players with scary skill, but he was also known to getting a few bust-ups here and there. He had one with Joey Barton, you might remember. He had one with United where his head got stepped on and then he threw a fat elbow. He had some with LA where someone stepped on him, so he stomped on them back. I know there's a famous viral video between him and Eric Bailly at his Manchester days where Bailly kind of threw some fists up in his face and Zlatan got serious and Bailly crumbled under pressure. I was like, I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking. But yeah, pretty sure he has as many bust-ups as goals. And he has a lot of goals.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of goals. Go back. It's Barry Ferguson is his father. Former Celtic player. Not Duncan.
Not Duncan. Oh,
not really.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
My number 5 is Zizou, Zinedine Zidane. Not only was he gifted with scary skill, but he was also known to lose his temper every once in a while. Looking at you, Marco Materazzi. Famously known for that headbutt at the World Cup final.
Caving in his chest.
Yeah, dude, he did cave in his chest. My number 4, honestly, this one might be my favorite player on my list. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. He is known for that quote, Gennaro Gattuso, however you pronounce it, the Italian enforcer. He was the only player to go toe-to-toe with Zlatan, and he famously slapped him in the face.
Yep.
You also might recall a Champions League game where he went up, I believe it was a Spurs coach, and put his hands around his neck, choking him.
Yep.
He was a very tenacious defensive midfielder, tough as nails. I would have hated to have played against him. That's all I can say.
I'd hate to meet him in a dark alley now.
Yes.
Speaking
My number
of dark
3.
alleys.
My number 3 is an X-Men character, the Juggernaut, Vinnie Jones. He was known as a hard man. The guy would literally grab you by the balls. By the balls. Give your balls a tug, guy. He was sent off 12 times in his career, and yeah. Any guy who does that to your balls, get out of here. No. My number 2 is Pepe. I mean, the guy has so many red cards for bad tackles.
So many. I don't understand why he doesn't have criminal charges.
Well, he once received a 10-match ban for assault on a player. Assault. Literally assaulted a player. 10-match ban. You've seen the videos of him out there stomping on players' heads, on their legs, wherever he can get those studs.
One of the dirtiest players of all time.
Yes. But my number 1, I think this is why he's my number 1, because I would have hated to have played against him the most, because he would go out to hurt you, and I hated those kinds of players. Roy Keane.
Yeah, one famous character that you've one famous player that you've quoted a bunch in this episode is actually based off of this man. Roy Kent is based off of Roy Keane.
The guy would literally cut people in half with his tackles, man. He hurt loads of players, ending careers. And he was also nasty with the Irish national team coach, Mike McCarthy, saying he didn't rate him as a player and he doesn't rate him as a manager.
And then he said, "Fuck your World Cup" right after that, too. I remember. That was one of my favorite press conferences of all time.
Wild. Completely wild.
Great.
And like I said, he would literally go out to hurt you.
I mean, we remember his bust-ups with Patrick Vieira in the tunnel. Didn't even make it onto the field. And then it did it on the field, too. Yeah, man, he was a tough one.
Yeah. Roy Keane's my number 1. But those are my 10 scariest players. Let me hear yours, buddy.
All right. I'm going to start number 10. A guy that is a counter to one of yours in Marco Materazzi.
Oh.
Man, this man is a phantom menace. He was the actual master of the dark arts of football. He was a threat everywhere. Sent off 4 times in his one and only season in England with Everton. And he's the one who provoked Zinedine Zidane getting red carded himself for calling his sister a whore.
Definitely Voldemort, master of the dark arts. Yes.
Number 9 is also one of yours, Zlatan, who is famously nicknamed the Balkan Demon, Ibrahimovic. Literally his nickname.
Karate master.
I mean, he is famous for getting in altercations with players like Romelu Lukaku, Rafael van der Vaart while he was at Ajax, Tyrone Mings, Mito, Jap Stam, Marco Materazzi, Oguchi Onweyu. I mean, he knocked Materazzi out with a taekwondo kick, sending him to the hospital.
Oh, wasn't it like to his chest or something? I do remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
It was the AC Milan Inter days, I believe.
Yes, it was.
I do remember
Number
that.
8, the vampire himself, Luis Suarez.
How could I forget Luis Suarez?
He's known for sinking his teeth into opponents.
I need to change my list.
His attacking ability. The creature of the night. He's known for biting. I mean, he was suspended 7 games for biting Otman Bakal on the shoulder. Playing for Liverpool, he was also suspended 10 games for
Ivanovic.
fighting Chelsea's Bratislav Ivanovic, and then in the
And
World
then
Cup
Chiellini.
for Uruguay, yeah. And he wasn't even punished. He got away with it.
I forgot about Suarez. He was punished.
Yeah.
No, he got.
There's
he
gonna
had
be a couple. Gonna be a couple on this list, my friend.
I forgot about
Next
Suarez.
up,
Damn.
You're gonna have the same reaction. You ready? Nigel de Jong, the Flying Dutchman.
Xabi Alonso in the World Cup.
Yes, in the 2010 World Cup final, he would be remembered for one thing, and it was absolutely picking apart players.
Just straight up Sparta kick Xabi Alonso.
Flying karate kick against Xabi Alonso. Yeah. And apparently wasn't deemed a red card offense by Howard Webb. Now we know why PGMOL is awful. He would later be dropped from the Dutch team partially because of his extraordinarily bad disciplinary record. Weird. Another one not on your list. Sergio Ramos.
Ooh.
Yes.
I don't
Red
know if
card
I
Reaper.
think him scary, but
He's known as no-nonsense defender.
I mean,
he was in a charity match recently where he had to pull out of a tackle because he realized it was a charity match, and he slid about 20 yards and then pulled out of the tackle. I mean, just ask Mo Salah. Remember when he took him out for a calculated challenge? He's picked up more cards, albeit yellow or red, than any other player in the history of La Liga, the Champions League, or the Spanish national team. Fun fact.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay, number 5. You probably don't really remember Stuart Pearce. His nickname is Psycho.
Manager of Man City at one point.
At one point. Former Nottingham Forest and England left back, nicknamed Psycho, not because he loved the Oscar-nominated movie.
He was crazy looking, too. He had a
ferocious, no-nonsense tackling style and intimidating presence on the field. The man was nuts. Nuts. Go look him up. Number 4, Eric Cantona.
Oh, I forgot about him, yep.
Yeah. On the night of January 25th, 1995, they were playing against Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park in the Premier League. He got a red card for kicking Palace defender Richard Shaw in the face. And then the situation went from bad to worse as he went into the stands and
I do remember that, yeah. Kicked some
apparently
fans.
Later on identified as Matthew Simmons fan. He kung fu style kicked and punched the fan.
Yeah.
He even called Michel Platini a bag of shit live on TV. And then there's also his Ballon d'Or speeches that we won't even get into. So, number 3, Pepe, the Portuguese man of war. I'm not even going to go into him because you already did it. But there is the one time you talked about where he got 10-game ban. It was when he puts his studs, stepped on a player's back, and then punched a defender, and then in the ensuing melee. And then, yeah. Because the ref gave the other team a penalty. So, for Getafe. Number 3, Gennaro Gattuso. I can't say enough about him, man. He was scary on the field, even though
I loved him, though, man. I gotta say.
I love him. I mean, not many players would take him on, but Zlatan did. Joe Jordan did. I mean, he had famous altercations with him, and then he even slapped Zlatan in the face and headbutted Joe Jordan. So, who's Scottish, by the way. Number 2, you're number 1, Roy Keane.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. He ended, I'm just going to say it because you didn't say it. He ended Erling Haaland's dad's career. Did you know that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Ended careers. That was
Old
Roy
Trafford, 2001, literally cut him in half. Literally. And then number 1, I don't think you gave him enough credit, man. Vinnie Jones. This man is
I called him the Juggernaut.
terrifying on screen as he was on the pitch. This man was a part of the crazy gang of AFC Wimbledon in the late 80s. He knew every dirty trick in the book, including grabbing people by the balls, but that was his preferred method of torture.
Terrible.
He did get kicked out of football for too much violent conduct.
Wild.
In the prime of his career. You know how much that takes?
Wild.
The only player I've ever seen have that happen to them. But what do you guys think?
Yes.
Who is the scariest player that you have ever seen?
Let us know in the comments, guys. Make sure you're following us on the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Join our Facebook group. Check out our Redbubble. Get the merch. But what a week of football it was. City take the Manchester Derby. Madrid take El Clasico. Arsenal cruise to victory against Sheffield. Chelsea fall back to earth. And Liverpool are looking good. Can't wait to see what next week brings. On that note, we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. As always, cheers.